But I mean, you have cambot. Yeah,
Okay, so I'm here with Dan from Culper Precision. We're out at the Culper shooting range. Again, this is one of my favorite shooting ranges to come out to because it's in this gorgeous valley here. We just got done with our range day today. We were shooting the DMSR.
Yep.
The DMSR.
Yep.
I asked him before we started recording because I kept on messing it up. But right here in my hand, I've got the 11.5 version, and that's got the Dead Air Sandman S on it. And then he has got the 13.9 right here, and that's got the Sandman K.
Yep.
So these are the two base configurations that it comes with that Sandman suppressor on there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the rifle?
Yeah, you bet.
Especially about the gas system, because
Yes.
that was what was really blowing me away today, with how much little, gassing out you got.
Yes.
It was almost like you were shooting a flow-through fan.
Right, and so the idea of the DMSR, right, is to build a rifle that's designed specifically for suppression right from the very beginning, right? And so because we know that there's going to be a suppressor on this rifle, we've built the gas system around that, right? And so we're using a gas port size that accommodates for the suppressor. We're using a proprietary length gas tube on the 11.5, this gun here. And on the 13.9, we use a mid-length gas tube. And then we have a BCG that's DLC coated, and we have a charging handle that also disrupts that gas. It's a gas busting charging handle that's ambidextrous. And then we use the A5 buffer system for bolt torque.
Okay.
To give us a wide operating window for this rifle, so that we can still shoot it unsuppressed, and we can shoot all different types of ammo to it, right? So we shoot the 50 grain stuff, the really anemic stuff, and we can also shoot the really heavy stuff like the 77 grain Mark 262 military round, which has a lot more energy to it, a lot more pressure. And so the rifle is just built from the beginning for the suppressor to be attached to it. And what happens when you do that is you get a rifle that has a really mild recoil impulse, and it gets back to natural point of aim very quickly. And so we're less than 1/10 of a second for the rifle to recoil and get back to your natural point of aim, right? And to be just done with all of the negative recoil and the positive recoil, so it's right back where you were aiming. And what that does is it increases your accuracy with fast splits. It decreases your split times, so you can go faster between rounds. And it really makes for a pleasant shooting experience, especially when they're running gas systems that mitigate some of that blowback into your face. So the DMSR is just designed straight up from the very beginning to be a suppressed rifle that has a really wide operational window, and is very reliable.
So let's talk options.
Yeah.
As you know, we've got the 11.5 and the 13.9. That's your sort of base model.
Yeah.
They come with the Sandman flash suppressor.
Yes.
The quick detach system already attached.
Yep.
What else can you do with these? You've obviously got the bazooka green one here,
Yep.
and this one's black or
Yeah,
gray.
so this
Cerakote.
is a gray we call Culper Gray. So Culper Precision Gray, and this one's actually a mix of, I think, a multicam green and a forest green. So I think we're calling it like multi-forest dark green or something like that. But it's a single color Cerakote that comes standard with the purchase price. Right now, I think these are $19.99, and like you mentioned, they come with the suppressor adapter attached. The cool thing about that with this 13.9 is that then meets all of our NFA regulations, so we don't need to do a tax stamp for the SBR, and like we would have to do with this rifle, right?
Right.
And so it's a convenience thing for folks that are looking to buy a rifle that is not going to cost them another $200 in taxes. And so yeah, they're available with other suppressor adapters. We can do the Huxworks ones, we can do the Surefire ones, we can do whatever you're running, and mount those for you on a 13.9 barrel. If they'll make 16 inches, then you're non-NFA, which is really cool. The other options that we have with this rifle are in the trigger groups. So these come factory with a Geisley Automatics trigger. which is a great trigger, but there are other options out there that guys like, and we can accommodate for those options kind of to suit. We're a small enough manufacturer that we can do a lot of custom things.
Yeah, and that's the SSA, right?
This is
Or is that the G2S?
This is a G2S in this gun, and so the G2S pretty much it's the kind of OEM version of the SSA. But SSAEs are popular. The Super Dynamic 3 gun is a popular trigger for these. The Tricon trigger is a popular one for these. And so all of those options are options that you can select. The other cool thing about being a kind of a custom shop rather than a mainline manufacturer is that we offer all different kinds of Cerakote. And so we can do all kinds of neat things like this rifle right here behind you. This rifle has a 4-color Cerakote pattern on it. And this is stuff that we do with the DMSR, obviously, and we can do everything from multi-cams to Cryptex. We do some battle worn type stuff, kind of like this DMSR right here, where it kind of looks like a battle worn Krylon camouflage.
Yeah, I almost thought this was a rattle can earlier.
Yeah, and in fact, we had a couple of rattle can rifles out on the range today, and this kind of fits right in with those. And so we can do cool things like this. The nice thing is that this finish doesn't wear off like the rattle can finishes do. Even with solvents and things, you can get really aggressive with this Cerakote, and it does a really good job.
Yeah, and I was out here for a couple hours today, and I think the only one that I saw having, any issues was the full auto one. And people were running that one like crazy. So. Yeah,
I think the full auto one, we found out that the reason why that one was not working right is because of the magazine that we were running in it. And so the full auto ones are kind of, we brought that up kind of under the radar. And then I gave it away shooting a drill with it in full auto that we were kind of laughing about. But after the cat's out of the bag, right? Everybody wants to shoot the full auto.
Yep.
And that gun's actually undersprung for running full auto. We didn't anticipate that we were going to do that today, and so there were a couple little things with that gun that would have made it run a little bit better. But that's not in a DMSR line. In fact, that's our base model. It's our patrol model.
Okay.
And it's a popular gun with law enforcement. We have many law enforcement agencies in Utah that use our rifles.
Yep.
And really that's kind of how we've stayed secret for a while, is because we've not marketed to the public. And so this is really our first kind of launch event for the DMSR, but for everything else that we're selling as well. We had the Sierra model out here. I don't know if you had a chance to shoot that Sierra model.
I did.
That SPR.
Yep.
We had the LSS and 6.5 Grendel, which is kind of a fun gun. And then we've also had a couple of the patrol models and the DM model. But the DMSR is the hot one. That's the one that everybody's kind of after right now. That's the reason for the event today, was to come up and give guys an opportunity to shoot the DMSR and to kind of see what makes it special versus other suppressed AR-15s.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the big thing that was shocking was shooting this and then shooting a standard AR. With a flow-through can, and the level of gas blowback between this, with an occluded can and one that had a flow-through can like the OSS, was near identical almost. So you're saving that durability that you get from a completely sealed can.
Yes.
Compared to an open can.
So some of the older designs, I mean, we've been commonly buying suppressors for a long time now, right? So guys have things like a Surefire RC2, right? Or they have things, like these dead air Sandmans, right? And they would really love to shoot those on their AR-15, but it's just such a negative experience when they shoot that on an AR that it's just not fun enough to suppress that gun. They get really dirty. These guns have had thousands of rounds on them today, and no lubrication. We didn't stop to clean anything. We didn't put any lube in anything, and they've gone all day long. Some of them have had thousands of rounds in them today, and because they are just so efficient with any can, but particularly with those old type cans, they're just a pleasure, because cleaning these takes me a minute or two. DLC coated bolts, like you just spray them with a little bit of lubrication. you wipe it off, you spray it with a little more lubrication, and you reinstall it.
Yeah.
And so they're just super handy. We've mitigated all of the negative things that come with shooting a suppressed rifle, and we've magnified all the positive things. So that's the point of the DMSR.
And you guys are at Culper Precision on Instagram?
Yes.
And your website is culperprecision.com?
That's correct.
Awesome. Yep. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, like come out to our events when we hold them. You'll best find them by following us on the Instagram. And we'd love you to come out and shoot a DMSR, try it out. Yeah, thanks a bunch.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks again.
You too.